Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to install Clear Linux. Clear Linux is OS in an open source rolling release Linux distribution optimized for performance and security from the cloud to the edge, designed for customization and manageability. So let's have a quick view about why Clear Linux OS.
Every application you have runs on an operating system made up of several parts. So when you update one part, it may throw things off balance, still leave security threats open, and maybe flat out cause the app to not work. This means that your team spends time and resources manually fixing the issue, or you reject the update. That means stability, but you may lose out on improved performance in the update. Whether breach, crash, or latency, not keeping your OS up to date can have real consequences. You need Clear Linux, an OS that's secure, performant, manageable, and customizable. By scanning for vulnerabilities and automating the latest security updates, Clear Linux delivers an environment designed to minimize breaches without causing slowdowns. Automated testing checks OS components for dependency issues. Since Clear Linux is built with the end-user application in mind, it ensures that performance optimizations are done at every layer of the stack, so that when it comes to end-user application performance, you get the very best without having to worry about it. Where other distros have updates the size of the entire OS, Clear Linux software packages contain only the changed portion, leading to faster updates. Clear Linux is also easily customizable, so you can build a custom component, then use the Mixer tool to combine it with the rest of the OS without recompiling it all. And finally, having a file structure that is separated into distinct layers makes Clear Linux easier to manage. With performance, security, customization, and manageability, the Clear Linux OS will be a reliable, stable pillar for whatever apps you run on it. Learn more at clearlinux.org.
So these are the features for Clear Linux OS, and it is from Intel. Let's go to the download section. We have three downloads options available. First is Clear Linux OS Desktop with a graphical user interface. Second is Clear Linux OS Server. It is in text interface, TUI text user interface, and third one is container. So I'm going to do the installation of Clear Linux OS Server, and for this I will be using KVM Virtual Machine Manager KVMU. So I already downloaded this ISO image, and let's have a look on what are the requirements for running this Clear Linux OS. Before installing Clear Linux OS, verify that the host system supports the installation. It requires 4 GB or more space, very less space. It requires minimum 4 GB only, and minimum RAM requirement is of 1 GB and single CPU core. So it is very, lightweight. And for if you want to try live desktop, then minimum requirement is of 20 GB, and for server only it is 4 GB, 1 CPU and 1 GB RAM. So let's create a virtual machine, new, forward, browse to the image location, server, clear 33510 live server ISO. Click open. Automatically, in this case, automatically detect from the installation media source. It is not detected, so let's use generic, forward. Minimum requirement is of 1 GB, already it is there, but to make it quicker I am going to use more RAM for 096. Let's use 4 CPU cores. So as already mentioned, minimum requirement is of only 1 GB or 1 GB RAM. Sorry. And minimum core CPU core is 1. Okay, but to make it faster I'm using more RAM because I have plenty of RAM available at the moment on this test machine. Click forward. I'm going to use 8 GB space. Forward. Give it a name. If you want to customize, we can customize here, but I don't want to go do any customization further. Finish. So it is started. We have option of verifying ISO image integrity in case if the OS installation is failing due to any reason. We can try to check the integrity via this method. Other method also we have like normally what we do is like we use SHA some, for example this one SHA 512, so we can download and verify directly the ISO image. Otherwise we can also check from here booting during the booting time. Let's start installation. If we press tab key we have more options available, like we can mention different kernel parameters. Hit enter. Okay, within seconds we are on the prompt of OS installation. We have documentation link and community support link available. To configure the network, we have to run nmtui to install clear Linux OS onto the system. We have to log in as root, and then we have to give this clr-installer command. Let's log in as root. You require to change your password immediately. Okay. Set the new password. So now to start the installation, we have to give command clr installer. It will start the installation. So first option is to choose language. Default, I'm using default. Keyboard default. We have to configure installation media. By default, it is not that installation media is not selected. Let's hit enter. We got three options available here: safe installation, installation on an unallocated disk, or alongside existing partitions. I think it is something like a dual boot, or if we want to preserve some data, then we can go with safe installation. Second option is destructive installation. Yes, I don't have any data, so I will use this destructive installation method. Advanced installation is like if you want to do customization, like a LVM or something. So let's proceed with the second option available, because I don't have any data, so and I don't want to do any customization right now. So going with the destructive installation, it will wipe out the disk and whatever content we have and proceed with the installation. And another option we have like enable encryption. No, I don't want any encryption right now. It's just a trial installation, test installation. And if we use enabled encryption, every time whenever we are booting the server, it will ask for Lux password uh, before it can boot. So let's confirm and proceed with the installation. Next option came manage users. No users added. So let's add a user. Tab key, add new user. Set the password. Confirm. So it will add a user. And by default it is administrator. If you want to add a user without being administrator privileges, then we can uncheck this option. Confirm, it will add a user. Again confirmation, confirm. Telemetry, allow clear Linux OS to collect anonymized system data and uses statistics for continuous improvement. By default we got no. Disable. If you want to share telemetry, you can enable it. So if you press in tab key again, if you want to modify anything, you can modify here. Let's go ahead with the installation. Got the warning message that selected media will be erased. That's fine. And confirm install. Installation is started. Updating partition table. Setting boot partition. This scanning media. By default it is creating ext4 file system on the root. Copying cached content to target media. While the installation is going on, let's have a look on some more option, whether like normally in Linux distributions we can check different installation logs, kernel message installation log on TTY3 and TTY4 and 5. So how to access during the installation? We can send combination of Control Alt F3, F4, F5, any of these. So I sent F3 key, it is not there. Alt arrow. So we are not getting, by default we are not getting this kernel messages during installation or installation logs. But probably we should be having it as it should be there somewhere in some of the log file. Let's log in and see whether we are getting some logs or not of this installation. Mount less. Probably in the temp. No. Let's have a look on the status of the installation. Okay, installation is complete, and I was trying to look for some installation logs. So It should be there in some of the log file. It can be under /var. It is not there in /tmp. Anyway, installation is already complete, so let's reboot it. It took hardly few minutes. Okay, pretty fast. Sorry. We directly we cannot log in as root. We created a user, so let's try to log in with that user. By default, there's no root password set. As you can see, there's no encrypted information, password information in shadow file for the root user. For YT user, it is there. And let's have a look on different mount points. Root is ext4 by default. Kernel options, uname-a. This is the kernel version, uname-r. Package management is SWUPD, software update, short form. SWUPD, OS software update program. And we can also use it for installation. Info. Content URL cdn.download.clearlinux.org.update. Let's have a look on what all updates available on this. SWUPD space update. Okay, nice. System already up to date at version 33510, so there are no updates available. Whenever we do installation, normally we should also update all the patches, security patches, and whatever updates are available. So okay, let's see, RPM command is available. No, so it is telling installation. To install RPM, use SWPD bundle add package utils. By default, we have 934 possible commands available. What all shells are available? Cat, etc shells. Default shell is bash shell. So that's it. This video is about only about installation, and I also shared some what all option we have available. So I myself going to try this OS over the weekend, and I'm planning to install Ansible or something. So thanks for watching. See you.